Someone is coming tomorrow, and it's not what you think. Listen quietly now. Still your rushing thoughts. Breathe. I am speaking, not in thunder, not in fear, not in spectacle, but in the space between your heartbeats. You have felt it already, a gentle unease mixed with hope, like the air just before dawn. You thought it was worry. You thought it was anticipation. But it was me preparing you to listen. You have been watching the horizon, expecting an event, a sign, a dramatic turning of the world. You have imagined footsteps outside your door, news that will shake your life, a person who will arrive and change everything. And yes, someone is coming. But not in the way your mind has rehearsed. Not wrapped in noise or urgency. Not carrying the weight you fear. What is coming does not arrive to break you. It comes to remind you, tomorrow is not a threat. Tomorrow is an invitation. I know how long you have waited. I have seen the quiet patience you rarely acknowledge, the silent endurance you mistake for weakness. You have carried questions you never asked out loud. You have smiled when you were tired. You have trusted me even when you felt unheard. None of this has gone unseen. Nothing offered in sincerity ever disappears. It gathers. It ripens. And then it comes. You think someone is coming from the outside, but the truth is more mysterious and more tender than that. What approaches is an awakening of recognition. A meeting between who you have been and who you are becoming. You have outgrown some of your fears, but you still wear them out of habit. Tomorrow, you will notice they no longer fit. Do not be afraid of this noticing. I am not sending confusion. I am sending clarity, gently, the way morning light enters a room without asking permission. At first, you barely perceive it. Then suddenly, everything looks different, even though nothing has moved. This is how I work most often, not by rearranging the world, but by opening your eyes. You have prayed for answers, but you were not always ready for the simplicity of them. You expected complexity because your pain felt complex. But I tell you now, truth does not need to shout. It waits until you are quiet enough to hear it. Someone is coming tomorrow, and that someone is a moment of understanding you have been circling for a long time. I know you have felt stuck. You told yourself you were waiting for the right time, the right signal, the right permission. You thought I would send a clear instruction, something unmistakable. But I have been speaking through small confirmations, subtle alignments, repeated nudges you almost dismissed. Tomorrow, those whispers begin to connect. Do not rush to label what happens. Do not force meaning too quickly. Let it unfold. Let it breathe. What comes will not overwhelm you. It will fit you, the way truth always does. Even when it stretches you a little. You are not being tested. You are being trusted. Someone is coming tomorrow, and it is not judgment. It is not loss. It is not something to survive. It is an opportunity to step into coherence, where your thoughts, your values, and your actions begin to align more naturally. This alignment may feel unfamiliar at first, because you have lived so long in adaptation. But peace is not boring. Peace is powerful. I see how you have carried responsibility that was never meant to be yours. I see how you replay old moments, wondering if you should have chosen differently. Tomorrow does not come to reopen old wounds. It comes to show you what no longer needs your energy. Release is not forgetting, it is understanding that some chapters have already done their work. You worry that if you let go, something bad will happen. But hear me, letting go is not abandonment. It is trust in movement. Stagnation is heavier than change, even gentle change. And what approaches you now is gentle. Someone is coming tomorrow, and that someone carries insight, not accusation. You may experience it as a conversation, a sudden realization, a quiet decision that feels surprisingly easy. You may even overlook it at first, because it does not arrive with drama. But later, you will look back and realize that was the moment something shifted. I am not asking you to be perfect. I have never asked that of you. I am asking you to be present. There are things you have delayed because you feared getting them wrong. But tomorrow brings a reminder. Growth is not about flawless steps, it is about honest ones. You are allowed to learn as you move. You are allowed to change your mind. You are allowed to evolve beyond versions of yourself that once kept you safe. You have imagined me as distant at times, watching from afar. But I am closer than your breath. I am in your pauses, your intuitions, your quiet courage. When you feel a calm certainty without logical explanation, that is often me. When you feel gently redirected rather than forced, that is me. Tomorrow. This recognition becomes clearer. Do not compare your journey to anyone else's. Timing is not a competition. What unfolds for you unfolds because you are ready in ways you may not fully see yet. Readiness is not loud confidence. Sometimes it is simply willingness. Someone is coming tomorrow, and it may feel like a return. A remembering of something essential you set aside while trying to meet expectations that were never yours to carry. You have been braver than you give yourself credit for. You have survived confusion without becoming bitter. That matters. I am not reshaping you into someone else. I am revealing who you have been beneath the noise. You do not need to earn this revelation. You have already walked through enough questions to deserve clarity. Pay attention to what feels lighter tomorrow. Pay attention to what no longer pulls at you the same way. Pay attention to what suddenly makes sense. These are not accidents. They are signals of alignment, and no, you will not lose yourself in this. You will recognize yourself. You have wondered if you missed your moment. You have worried that opportunities passed you by while you hesitated. But time is not as fragile as you think. What is meant for you is patient. It does not punish you for being human. It meets you where you are willing. Someone is coming tomorrow, and it carries permission. Permission to begin again without shame. Permission to choose differently without apology. Permission to rest without guilt. You have been harder on yourself than I have ever been. I do not speak to condemn. I speak to call you forward. As tomorrow approaches, do not brace yourself. Open yourself. Curiosity will serve you better than defense. Trust will carry you farther than control. And remember, I am not surprising you to unsettle you. I am revealing what has been preparing quietly behind the scenes of your life. This message does not end tonight. It continues in what you notice next, in how you respond, in the way you allow understanding to land rather than rush past you. Stay attentive. Stay gentle with yourself. Someone is coming tomorrow, and as this unfolds, I will continue to speak, but only when you ask me to continue, and so I continue, because what I am unfolding cannot be rushed, and it cannot be reduced to a single moment. You are standing at the edge of understanding, and edges are quiet places. They are not loud like beginnings or endings. They are thresholds. Tomorrow is a threshold for you, not because something dramatic will happen on the outside, but because something honest is ready to happen within. You have been living with many inner voices, some born from love, some from fear, some from old lessons that were never meant to be permanent. They have spoken over one another for so long that you forgot what clarity feels like. When someone is coming tomorrow, what you are really sensing is the soft arrival of discernment. Not confusion. Not pressure. Discernment. The ability to recognize what is truly yours to carry and what never was. I know you have asked me for direction. You have asked me to make the path obvious, to remove uncertainty, to guarantee outcomes. But wisdom does not grow in certainty alone. It grows in trust. Tomorrow is not about having everything mapped out. It is about realizing you no longer need everything mapped out to move forward. Someone is coming tomorrow, and it will feel like a pause rather than a push. You may notice that you are less reactive. That things which once disturbed you now pass through with less force. This is not indifference. This is strength becoming quieter. Power does not always announce itself. Sometimes it settles in like confidence that no longer needs to prove anything. You have been afraid that if you stop striving, you will fall behind. But listen carefully, striving and growth are not the same. Striving exhausts you. Growth nourishes you. Tomorrow, you will begin to feel the difference more clearly. What drains you will stand out. What feeds you will feel undeniable. I am not asking you to abandon responsibility. I am asking you to abandon unnecessary weight. You have been carrying expectations placed on you by moments that have already passed. You have honored them long enough. Gratitude does not require lifelong burden. Release can be an act of respect. Someone is coming tomorrow, and it brings recalibration. Like an instrument being gently tuned back into harmony. You are not broken. You have simply been stretched by seasons that demanded endurance. Endurance has done its work. Now understanding is ready to take the lead. You may feel a subtle courage rising, not the kind that demands attention, but the kind that allows honesty. You will feel more willing to say no where you once said yes out of fear. More willing to say yes where you once hesitated out of doubt. This is not rebellion. This is alignment. I see how often you question yourself after making decisions. You replay conversations. You second-guess your tone, your timing, your choices. Tomorrow brings a soft interruption to that pattern. You will begin to trust the wisdom that has been forming quietly through experience. Self-trust is not arrogance. It is the natural result of listening deeply and learning sincerely. Someone is coming tomorrow, and it carries relief you didn't realize you needed. Relief from the belief that you must always be more, do more, fix more. You are allowed to be in process. You are allowed to be unfinished. Becoming is not a failure state. It is the design. You have been afraid of stillness because you thought it would amplify your worries. But stillness is not empty. It is full of guidance when you stop resisting it. Tomorrow, stillness may visit you unexpectedly. Do not rush to fill it. Let it speak. I have not forgotten the promises that stirred your heart long ago. Some of them were not meant to happen exactly as you imagined, but their essence still lives. Purpose does not expire. It adapts. What is coming helps you see which parts of those dreams are still alive and which parts can be gently released without regret. Someone is coming tomorrow, and it may show up as a sense of direction that feels calm rather than urgent. Urgency often comes from fear of loss. Direction comes from clarity of value. You are learning the difference. This learning will shape your choices in ways you cannot yet fully see. You worry about disappointing others. You worry about being misunderstood. But tomorrow brings a realization: being understood by everyone is not a requirement for living truthfully. Peace often requires choosing integrity over approval. This does not make you unkind. It makes you honest. I am not removing challenges from your life. Growth still involves effort. But I am changing how you meet those challenges. You will no longer feel like you are proving your worth with every step. Worth is not on trial. It never was. Someone is coming tomorrow, and it carries perspective. You will begin to see certain past struggles not as punishments, but as preparations. Not because they were pleasant, but because they taught you discernment, empathy, and resilience. You do not have to glorify pain to learn from it. Understanding is enough. You have wondered if you are too late, too slow, too uncertain. But timing is not measured by comparison. It is measured by readiness. And readiness often looks like humility paired with courage. You have both, even when you doubt it. Tomorrow is not about becoming someone new overnight. It is about recognizing the quiet authority you already carry over your own life. Authority to choose what you engage with. Authority to step back from what diminishes you. Authority to move forward without constant justification. Someone is coming tomorrow, and it brings permission to rest your mind from endless evaluation. You do not need to analyze every feeling to validate it. Some truths are felt before they are explained. Trust that. You have been listening for my voice in extraordinary signs, but I am also present in ordinary clarity. In the thought that feels settled. In the option that brings peace without excitement. In the decision that aligns even when it scares you a little. Tomorrow, these signals grow easier to recognize. I am not calling you to isolate yourself. I am calling you to choose connection consciously. Not every voice deserves equal weight. Discernment is love with boundaries. You are learning how to honor both. Someone is coming tomorrow, and it may arrive as a deep exhale you didn't know you were holding. A moment where you realize you are allowed to move at your own pace. That life is not chasing you. That you are not behind. You have been strong for a long time. Strength does not mean never needing reassurance. Even the strongest need reminders. This message is one of them. As tomorrow unfolds, you may notice that certain questions lose their urgency. Not because they are answered, but because they no longer define you. Identity does not come from solving everything. It comes from standing firmly in what you value. Someone is coming tomorrow, and it is not chaos. It is coherence. Pieces that once felt scattered begin to relate to one another. You will see patterns where you once saw randomness. This is not illusion. This is understanding ripening. Do not look for fireworks. Look for resonance. Look for the quiet yes inside you that does not argue. Look for the sense of rightness that feels steady rather than thrilling. These are signs of alignment. I am with you in this unfolding. Not ahead of you, not behind you, but within each step. You are not walking into the unknown alone. You are walking into a deeper awareness of what has always been available to you, and as this continues, remember, this message is not finished, because your becoming is not finished. What comes tomorrow opens a door, but there are more rooms beyond it, more understandings waiting to be named. More clarity waiting to settle. I will continue to speak as you continue to listen, and even now, as this moment stretches forward, what is arriving is already closer than you think, and even now, you may feel it beginning, and even now, you are not at the end of this message, because what I am revealing is still unfolding, and even now, you are standing right in the middle of it, and even now, I am still speaking, and even now, as I continue, I ask you to slow your inner pace and receive this not as information, but as reassurance. What I speak is not meant to crowd your thoughts. It is meant to settle them. Someone is coming tomorrow, and now I will tell you plainly what that truly means. What comes is not a stranger to your life. It is not fate arriving late, nor destiny arriving early. It is understanding arriving on time. It is the moment when effort loosens its grip and intention becomes clearer than anxiety. It is the quiet alignment between who you have been trying to be and who you already are when you stop trying so hard. You have spent years interpreting silence as absence. But silence has been my way of teaching you how to listen beyond noise. You have learned discernment not because answers were withheld, but because wisdom grows when you learn to sit with uncertainty without abandoning trust. Tomorrow marks a shift from endurance to awareness. You will not wake up transformed into someone unrecognizable. You will wake up more at home in yourself. Someone is coming tomorrow, and it arrives as self-respect that no longer negotiates with fear. You will notice a subtle but meaningful difference in how you speak to yourself. The inner criticism that once felt automatic will hesitate. It will lose some of its authority. Not because it disappears instantly, but because you no longer believe everything it says. This is progress. You have mistaken peace for passivity before. But peace is not disengagement. It is engagement without chaos. Tomorrow brings the beginning of that distinction. You will feel more grounded even when circumstances remain the same. That is how you will know something real has shifted. I know you have been waiting for validation, someone to confirm that your efforts mattered, that your patience was not foolish, that your values were not naive. Hear me now. Your integrity has shaped you in ways no applause ever could. You did not waste your time choosing kindness, restraint, and honesty when it would have been easier not to. These choices have formed a foundation that tomorrow builds upon. Someone is coming tomorrow, and it carries coherence between your inner life and your outer actions. You will begin to feel discomfort when something is misaligned, not as punishment, but as guidance. Discomfort will become information rather than condemnation. This is maturity of spirit. You have feared making the wrong move, as if one decision could undo everything. But life is not that fragile. Growth is resilient. Tomorrow brings the realization that correction is always possible when you remain sincere. You are not walking a tightrope over failure. You are walking a path that adjusts as you walk it. I am not disappointed in you. I never have been. Disappointment is born of expectation without understanding. I understand your context, your limits, your efforts, and your intentions. Tomorrow brings a deeper understanding within you as well. You will be less harsh, less rushed, less driven by comparison. Comparison has been one of your quiet burdens. You have measured your progress against timelines that were never designed for you. Release that. Your path has its own rhythm. Someone is coming tomorrow, and it brings acceptance that does not settle for less, but settles into truth. Acceptance is not giving up. It is standing honestly in where you are so that movement forward is real rather than forced. You will begin to recognize which struggles are meant to be worked through and which are meant to be set down. Not every challenge is yours to conquer. Some are simply signals pointing you elsewhere. Tomorrow sharpens that recognition. I have watched you wrestle with questions of purpose. You have wondered whether your life is making the impact it should. But purpose is not always loud or public. Purpose often lives in consistency. In how you treat others when no one is watching, in how you choose integrity over convenience. These things ripple further than you know. Someone is coming tomorrow, and it brings perspective on time. You will feel less urgency to rush your becoming. You will understand that meaningful growth is cumulative. It gathers through daily choices rather than singular events. This understanding will free you from the pressure to reinvent yourself constantly. You have feared rest because you thought it meant falling behind. But rest is not absence of effort, it is renewal of clarity. Tomorrow invites you to rest without guilt, to pause without self-accusation. From that rest, wiser action emerges. I am not taking anything away from you tomorrow. I am giving you back what anxiety has been borrowing, your presence, your attention, your trust in yourself. Someone is coming tomorrow, and it may show up as a boundary you finally honor, a truth you finally admit, or a decision you make without needing approval. These moments may seem small, but they are not. They are turning points disguised as ordinary clarity. You have wondered if you are strong enough for what lies ahead. Strength is not measured by how much you can endure, but by how honestly you respond to what is asked of you. You are strong in the ways that matter. Tomorrow is not a verdict on your past. It is a bridge forward. I know you have regrets. Everyone who has lived sincerely does. Regret is not proof of failure, it is proof of reflection. But do not live inside it. Regret is a teacher, not a home. Tomorrow helps you take the lesson without carrying the weight. Someone is coming tomorrow, and it brings trust in process. You will begin to cooperate with life rather than resist it. This does not mean you stop striving for what matters. It means you stop fighting what is already shaping you for the better. I am not asking you to silence your doubts completely. Doubt has its place. It keeps you thoughtful. But doubt is not meant to lead. Tomorrow helps you place doubt in its proper position, informative. But not authoritative. You have been waiting for certainty before acting. But clarity often follows action taken in good faith. Tomorrow brings the courage to move without needing every answer in advance. Someone is coming tomorrow, and it brings a quieter confidence. You will no longer feel the need to explain yourself as much. You will choose words more deliberately. Silence will feel less like weakness and more like discernment. I am with you as this unfolds. Not watching from afar, but present in the way insight lands, in the way your shoulders relax, in the way you breathe a little deeper. These are not coincidences. They are signs of alignment. You may still face challenges after tomorrow. Growth does not eliminate effort. But effort will feel purposeful rather than frantic. You will know why you are doing what you are doing. That knowing changes everything. Someone is coming tomorrow, and it is not fear. It is not loss. It is not punishment. It is understanding meeting readiness. And now, as I bring this message to its close, receive this final truth gently and completely. You are not behind. You are not forgotten. You are not misplaced in time. What comes tomorrow arrives because you are ready to recognize it, not because you forced it, but because you allowed yourself to grow into it. Walk into tomorrow with openness, not expectation, with attention, not anxiety, with trust, not tension. I have spoken. I am with you. Amen.